my hat, bro. Bro, this bitch about to be stupid if I can't find this fucking hat, bro. My straw hat, bro. Where the fuck is my straw hat?
Yeah, I couldn't find the fucking straw hat. I just fucked my wrist up.
What's popping with it? You already
know it's your boy Young Roxas, aka Big Roxas, aka Young Roxas, aka dual wielder her motherfucking self. Okay, the 13th Hokage, if you will. You feel?
And today's the day. Today's the day. I finished Wano Kuni, bro. I'm officially caught up with the most recent season of One Piece. I'm on Egghead Island, right? But I'm not gonna start Egghead until they start the next arc. Yeah, that shit didn't work out. Come to find out, I caught all the way the fuck up just for the whole anime to go on a 6-month hiatus after this, because what I don't want to end up happening is to me to be in a spot where I am like the rest of you cultureless fucks and sitting there waiting for episodes to drop. That shit's lame. I like to binge One Piece back to back, so I'm gonna just wait until it racks up a little bit more. You feel me? Stuff I've seen, which I'll touch on that later, but it's getting kind of crazy though. You dig what I'm saying? It's getting really fucking crazy. So yeah. If there was ever a time to catch up on your One Piece, it'd probably be fucking now. And post Wano, One Piece might be the greatest fucking story ever written, bro. It just might be, bro. It just might be. It just might be. 1,090 episodes into this fucking series, bro. What the fuck happened to me? What the hell happened to me, dog? I figured that in honor of me catching up and finally reaching a point where I have no life and nothing to live for, I came up with the One Piece tier list. Yeah. Cool enough because I can actually list shit because I've watched it thoroughly. So, man, I'm going to do a tier list. This is what this is. Before I start this tier list, though, this is my personal opinion. I could give two fucks less about what you say in the comment section and your own personal experiences because you're not me, so deal with it. Start that up, yo. I just gotta give credit to Wano. I thought, now mind you, this arc was like 200 plus episodes, right? That's a lot. Like coming from Dressrosa, which was like what 70, and then or no, it had 100. I take that back. It had 119 because technically, Dressrosa was split into the whole Punk Hazard thing, but I digress. But yeah, bro, if memory serves correct, Dressrosa's at 117. Whole Cake was at about 100. No, Dressrosa had to be like 70 something. I think it was 70. It was 20, then it split into 50 somewhere along the way. I'm not keeping up with your fucking numbers, Toy. For an arc that went on for 4+ years and 150 something chapters, I'm so glad I did not start that thing around the time that it dropped, because I would not have been able to hold on to the suspense, all the hiatuses, the breaks. Oh, it would have killed me, bro. So to be able to just watch everything in one smooth, concise type of manner, chef's kiss. Wano changes the game, bruh. Wano changes the game quite immaculately, if you want my honest opinion. This mailman probably have the most peaceful lives, bro. Outside of like getting fucked on by a dog every now and then, they probably got peaceful lives because federally you can't touch them, right? So it is just like get to be outside every day, short. You ain't gotta talk to nobody. I might just be a postman, bro. Fuck you two. Reveals and just all the like the backstory. Like it really wasn't. It was backstory, which I'll get to that in a second. It was backstory, but with all due respect, the more key thing that I think kept people interested was just how all the stuff that we had been learning up to this point actually kind of fucking mattered in some shape or form. You dig what I'm saying? First off, the animation in Wano is fucking crazy, bruh. I don't know what people were talking about. Is this too flashy? Y'all didn't know. One Piece needed to hit a spot that was like that. Don't get me wrong. I still understand people's whole, the older art style kind of look a little bit more rough and rigid, but it was a little bit more smooth and buttery. Listen. We're in 2024, about to be 2025. Anime is just gonna look like that. It's been looking like that since fucking 2016. Let's not give One Piece shit for trying to adapt. Because I guarantee you, if anybody was still watching the original One Piece in the original animation, we would all be disgusted. Well, most people would be disgusted. These new animated watchers would be disgusted. But there were spots where I was just like, how the fuck is this allowed? How did you guys have a budget for this? Because it wasn't just 1 or 2 or 3 packed into one episode. It was like 5 or 6 like real key moments animation-wise that just made me go, for real? It was pretty all over the place in a crazy way, bro. I gotta give it to this. I gotta give them this. The Odin flashback with Roger and Whitebeard is top tier, bro. It's top tier. I don't think anybody else could top a flashback. Not the Fishman Island flashback. Nah, bro. I would say Fishman Island is probably one of my favorite flashbacks, even though I fucking despise the damn arc. Plot wise, exposition wise, oh yeah, it was there, bro. It was there. My trusty paper here. Actually, hold on. You know your boy's blind. I got glaucoma. Obviously, S tier is going to be the goat and the gas fruit. A tier is going to be fire and smoke, apparently, what I read down. So I guess A tier is supposed to be fire, supposed to be, smoke as well. B tier is going to be ice and explosive. Ice, pretty cold. Don't know where the fuck I got explosive from. I actually think I was thinking of that one guy from Baroque Works with like the exploding boogers. Was that not like a walkie power, bro? Was that not like a walkie power? Like anything that he had, like he flicked a booger and fucking Usopp and it exploded. Like what type of fuck? Start with the D tier. You guys are gonna hate me for this. D tier, which is the Garbodor tier, right? You don't know what Garbodor is, you're not fucking cool enough. It's a Pokemon made out of garbage. D tier for Garbodor? I've got all of East Blue, dude. Now, but wait, hold on. Y'all criticize me and throw me up on that cross. East Blue is necessary for what One Piece built in the future. You know what I'm saying? What it eventually became. However, East Blue, like the majority of it, good God. And like I'm including all of this because I fuck with East Blue the long way. But boy, I'm telling you, man, some of them arcs and some of them moments was just, oof. The pacing wasn't a problem midway through the series. The pacing has been a problem from the fucking get-go, right? Town, Syrup Town, fucking Baratier, Arlong, which I sanctioned out some of the East Blue into higher tier lists just because of how they stand out. But majority of the East Blue, it's just, it takes too long. Like it establishes the premise, but it takes too long. You know what I mean? And I can't put it any higher than D because everything else just surpasses that, except for one exception. But we'll get at that until the end of the video. I respect all of East Blue, but good God, if you asked me to sit there and watch through all of it again, I probably couldn't do it. I probably wouldn't do it, actually. The only time I'd probably do it is with this remake that they're making. That is the only time I can see myself doing it. I really like Baratier. Baratier and Arlong was pretty cool to me too, but everything else, bro, is just like, God, you guys probably should have remade this a long time ago. Okay, so that's D tier, right? That's pretty easy. D tier to me is just necessary elements of One Piece that needed to happen. You know, they're not bad per se, but they're a little bit early on. You know what I'm saying? Early work is a little bit more rough, you know. But you got to respect your elder. You got to respect the classics, right? D tier for me is It's not bad. It's just like, it's like a pretty average arc. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily an arc that kind of blew my mind and went crazy. And it's just like, all right, this was pretty cool. There was some spots where you missed it, but this was pretty cool. I can accept this as an arc, you know. First one I got on there, surprisingly enough, oh dude, and I know people have to agree with me on this slightly because it's crazy. Okay, first one on there is Wano Act 2. And I split Wano into 3 parts because that's kind of how it was. Wano Act 2 is arguably the weakest part of the Wano act, and it's fucked up because it is like the middle portion canonically it makes sense because around this time, like everybody else is kind of like they're basically getting their forces ready. They're getting everybody together and kind of culminating to make the raid on Onigashima, right? The problem with that is that the pacing, like, I'm not gonna lie, everything was cool. Like, Luffy obviously eventually ended up getting put in Udon and him having a breakout or whatnot. Like, that was cool, but like the wrestling shit, the sumo matches, I feel like it drug on a little bit too much, and then wandering around with Zoro and everybody else took a little bit too long. However, there was some good parts in there. Law and Basil Hawkins having to make that deal and shit like that. Slow, bro. Revealing all the scabbards, finding out who's who. There were some good moments, but overall, it just felt slow. It felt like it interrupted everything that the first act started and the third act finished it. You know what I mean? Like, there was so much tension because Luffy just got one-shotted by Kaido. You're like, oh, shit. Fucking third act starts off with their raid on Onigashima. It's just like, there was so much cushion in between that. There was good moments, though. But there was a lot of cushion in between that. So Wano Act 2 just kind of dropped for me, man. It kind of fell a little bit flat at some points, and I just realized that it suffered from a lot of what happens in a lot of media, where the first half is cool, the ending is cool, but it's that middle part of trying to connect the two that some people kind of struggle to figure out. And that's not on like Oda's part or anything like that. I just think the pacing of it and how much he was probably trying to squeeze out was just a little bit too much for my fancy taste. So Wano Act 2 gets a C tier. Fishman Island, bro. Fishman Island is just... My friend described it like this. He said that Fishman Island was basically a way of showing the Straw Hat Pirates and all their new powers, all their new abilities, their growth as people. And I get that. It's cool and all. I probably will never forget Luffy knocking out 30,000 fishmen with just Conqueror's Haki. Where it falls flat and outside of the flashback, which the flashback was so cool because I've always wanted to know more about like the Sun Pirates, more of the Celestial Dragons, and just how that, because I remember hearing his name, Fisher Tiger, climbed up the red line to set some niggas free. Like, you know how real that is? He set some slaves free. He's Harriet Tubman. So the flashback was cool and all. Some, other revelations like Shirahoshi being Poseidon and hearing Joy Boy's name for the first time, the whole Poneglyph thing. Like, that stuff was cool. Hody, though, the fight with him, his reason behind everything just doesn't make sense. Like, it's so stupid. And then the whole time, like, One Piece is not all about fight scenes and whatnot, but Luffy's fighting this nigga underwater. Like, why? For what reason? And then it spends like, fucking 10 episodes of him punching a ship to death, then punching Hody with a move that he learned from Ace. So it's just like, duh. Island just don't do it for me, man. Fishman Island has to get a C. It's got to get a C for me, man, because no. Amazon Lily. Now this one I was gonna put in B because it was the first time that Haki was kind of really properly introduced, right? And I think Haki is such a cool aspect to having in One Piece outside of people having devil fruits and swordsmanship, right? Amazon Lily was pretty cool, but it didn't quite go like I thought, considering it's just Luffy by himself and he's trying to figure out where the fuck he is and his crewmates. Aspect of it and the aesthetic of it is nice, but there were some missed points on there. So Amazon Lily has to get a C. Women though, I would love to be there. There's actually this moment where Luffy's just like standing with his clothes off and it's like shining on his nuts and shit like that, and then women are all just like, what is that? It's like, those are my jewels. Like, I think I used that in the intro of my Marineford thing. You guys should go check that video out too. Amazon Lily gets a fat C from me. Ooh, Whole Cake Island. Now listen, I'm a Sanji fanboy to a degree, right? I fuck with his old being the cook and being like we against women, but brother, listen, Whole Cake didn't do it for me, man. I don't think that was the way to get me introduced to Big Mom, because thank you for those that said bless you. Appreciate you. Yeah, Whole Cake just didn't do it for me, man. Whole Cake did not do it for me at all. Like, it was good, but it just dragged on too long. The freaking Chocolate Island, the other island, this island. It was just a conglomerate of them bouncing around in order to find Sanji and be like, hey, come back to us. And he's like, no. Now, I will say it's the hardest thing to watch, to see Sanji kick Luffy right in his shit and then continue to kick him right in his shit. And Luffy just like, well, shit, nigga, I ain't moving till you come back and feed me something. So, tough luck. Just real. That's all it is. Luffy's just real. So, that was cool and everything. Seeing Sanji's backstory and all of that. It's just, I feel like 96 episodes. That's really where a lot of these things kind of fall short. Is that they would be so much better if they told them in a smaller, concise way. And I don't mean shortening it from like 96 to 36, but maybe like a crisp 70, maybe like a 65, something around them lines. Something to so certain moments that should take, you know, instantaneous like that are not just drug out scenes. Because I feel like I was watching Luffy wait for this man and Luffy being trapped inside the book with Nami for a good grip. Granted, I gotta give props where props is due. Luffy versus Katakuri, top 3 fight in the whole series. Don't add me. Don't talk to me about nothing. It was so fucking cool seeing somebody do the same shit Luffy can do, but 10 times better. And then Luffy's not just in a position where he has to overpower him, but he has to outsmart him. He has to be in a more tactical and a more strategic advantage in order to beat this guy. He has to grow his observation haki. Katakuri was whooping his ass. Katakuri was whooping his ass for a minute. And Katakuri is like one of my favorite characters now. But he was whooping his ass, bro. But to see Luffy step up to the plate and hear those words of Rayleigh, like, yeah, the only way to really train that type of stuff and to get better at it is get in the field, bro. Get in the field and get your hands dirty. That's some real shit, bro. And I fuck with that aspect. That's like the only saving grace for me when it came to Whole Cake, is seeing that fight, because that fight made everything I watched up there worth it. Him just sharpening up his haki, like him just trying to grow as a pirate, like it was some of the dopest shit. I couldn't get behind the whole assassination at the wedding attempt, bro. Like I got it, but it was drug out too much, bro. So I gotta give Whole Cake a C, man. I gotta give Whole Cake a C. You know? Alabasta, I gotta say though, even though it's a C tier for what it revealed and what it was trying to do, I think Alabasta's pretty cool, man. Like it might be, and y'all gotta recognize, I might be putting some of these as C or B, just because I'm looking at them from a more, you know, rounded out perspective. But I still fuck with a lot of these arcs. Like I still fuck with a lot of the shit that they show, moments in there. Like it'll be shit I never forget. But we gotta look at the quality in its entirety, you know. Alabasta was cool. Alabasta was really fucking cool. The whole, you know, desert thing, Sandtown, Royal Castle, like just people living out in the desert basically. And then to have a whole revolutionary army, our first introduction to a warlord of the sea, Crocodile, him being kind of this vicious, strategically thinking mob boss. Us meeting Robin for the first time. Like it was a lot of shit that was cool in there. Even some of the fights. Luffy really whooping on Crocodile's ass. I actually fucked with I actually fucked with the whole Usopp and Chopper versus the little mole woman or whatever, and then her little dude. I actually fucked with that fight a lot. And then Sanji versus Bonchan that's just goated. Then Zoro versus Mr. One. Like there's a lot of shit in there, bro. There's a lot of shit in there. And on top of that, like learning what happened later at the Reverie. And then just the whole like battlefield, like the Revolutionary Army versus Crocodile's niggas, and like, dude, it's just so emotional seeing Vivi at the top yelling at everybody to stop and nobody's listening, bro. Niggas are just so immersed in the art of war at that moment that they can't even tune out. They can't even tune into what a piece would actually sound like. You know what I mean? They're already set. It's like going to war and the one person trying to tell them, like, maybe we shouldn't do this. And it's just like, well, everybody else is already on the battlefield, man. Everybody else is already signed up for this shit. How can we not fight at this point? It was his first go-around with, like, a major arc. Or maybe my first go-around with, like, a major arc that they were presenting, right? Because it did introduce us to Ace. It did introduce us to Smoker. Well, not introduce, but, you know, kind of elaborate on it. It just introduced us to a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Stuff that we will be hearing constantly throughout the rest of the series. So I got to give Alabasta a C, but I fuck with Alabasta. Okay. The Baratie So we're in B tier category. Baratier was pretty cool. Baratier, we picked up Sanji. I got to see Luffy versus Don Krieg. I would say not even the fights, just like the whole emotional aspect. Like we really get the not learn about Sanji in its entirety, but we get the base presentation of who Sanji is as a character. You know what I'm saying? Attitude, morals, what he wants to be, motivations for probably wanting to go out to sea, all types of stuff. And that was really cool, man. I think that was a really solid moment. I'll never forget Sanji bowing down to Zeph and Zeph just trying not to cry, bro. And then just figuring out how the two met and who Zeph used to be, I think that was a pretty neat way to kind of intertwine things too. Not really too much on Baratier. I got to give it a B. It was just pretty cool. We got our cook. We got our man that can dice up stuff and beat niggas down with his legs. It gets no, simpler than that. Thriller Bark. Thriller Bark's fucking fire. And I know it's kind of cliche because it's the whole zombie thing, but Thriller Bark is actually pretty fucking crazy. I did not like seeing roided up Luffy trying to fight niggas. Like it was weird, bro. It was weird. But everything else, nigga. We got introduced to Ryuma. Zoro gets Shusui, right? We learned that one of the people that's actually on the fucking island used to be part of the Rocks Pirate, which I found that out later. There's that. There's the whole Gecko Moria thing, which we get introduced to him. He was kind of a cool character. I feel like they could elaborate on him a little bit more because he did have kind of like a unique power. But I could understand why they kind of sold this to just being like a Brook pickup. But they did touch on a lot of stuff. And then just the way the island's kind of like segregated from, I don't want to say segregated from the rest of the world, but you know what I'm saying? It has a different appeal to it. It looks all creepy. It's like a vampire mansion. You dig? I think it was really cool. I really fucked with Thriller Bark. So Thriller Bark is pretty cold. I'd give that a B for sure. Punk Hazard. Punk Hazard was cool. It was all right. We got introduced to Law, the fullness of Law, I would say, to a degree. Punk Hazard, to me, just needed a setup for us to reach the land of Wano and have a reason to fuck with Kaido, because it started in Punk Hazard with the factory and, Caesar and all of that. Then it moved to Dressrosa, who was the middle person, a.k.a. Doflamingo, which was supplying Caesar with everything he needed. And then who answers to Doflamingo, or who does Doflamingo answer to? Kaido. Kaido's the one behind everything that starts at Punk Hazard. Kaido's behind all of that shit. And it's not like he's directly there, but everything he's done in Wano has just spread out so far. There's people running. Spread out so far that it just happened to reach at that point. So Punk Hazard was there to just kind of, I like the whole aspect of Aokiji and Akainu kind of fighting on that island and it just being fucked and them still having like a undercover like lab there. It was pretty cool. It was pretty nice. We got introduced to Kinemon and Momonosuke, obviously. We heard Kanjiro word of mouth. So we got introduced to some pretty key characters going forward and some pretty key motivations going forward, too. So it wasn't really nothing crazy. Caesar versus Luffy wasn't too crazy. Wasn't really a lot fight-wise going on. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Shambles. I'm like, y'all should have seen my face, bro. I was geeking, bro. Punk Hazard's cool. Punk Hazard's got to get a B. Arlong Park. Probably the one arc that my friend, he insisted that I get to that point because it hit so hard for him, and it did. It did. Seeing Bellamire and, Nami's, everybody, it was pretty sad and gut-wrenching, bro. Plus, Arlong is just a dick. Like, he's just a cocky fisherman that really ain't got no reason to fucking be there, but he is. He just asserted his dominance, and he just been a wild card ever since. And fuck shit. But I think it was cool. The emotional impact that was there. I can't forget Luffy versus Arlong. I can't forget the walk to Arlong Park. I think most people would probably recognize that as a stand-up. Like, Luffy's just like, why you stabbing yourself, shorty? Because of this nigga. Oh, really? Bet, put the hat on her, and it was like, y'all, we're going. And they just like, yeah. Tell me Luffy is not him, bro. Luffy is the nigga that is going to become the king of the motherfucking pirates, nigga. Let me calm down. All right, Logtown. I really only threw this on there because Dragon appears. It's the old place of where the king of the pirates died, and yeah, that's it. So, Zoe is pretty cool. Zoe is pretty cool. We don't sell out our niggas over here. Rizo is safe. You dig what I'm saying? It was just for me, this is interesting because we learn more about the Mink tribe and everything, and we get to a point where like we really learn that they have a history with the land of Wano, with the Odins, specifically the Kozuki clan, and they're like they're like pretty fucking cool. Like when they hit the moon and they do the little oolong transformation, it's some of the most fire shit. They become some of the most broken characters. Like they be just doing all tons of shit. Another poneglyph there, as well as I want to say Luffy and Momonosuke having the whole voice of all things. It's pretty gut wrenching, man. It's a lot of it's one of those arcs that has a whole lot of mysterious lore to it that you don't learn until a little bit later. Because Zoe is so fucking important, I think, with the whole Zunisha thing. Because Zunisha knows Joy Boy, so it's just like it begs the question. I'm trying not to theorize here, but it begs the question as to what Zunisha is. Because it's just Zoe is just on its back. So what was Zunisha originally before it became the giant elephant in order to hold that island for the Minks? Where was the Mink tribe, or what was the Mink tribe before all that, right? Just kind of keeping that mysterious aspect, like it probably provided more questions than answers in that scenario. And then following up on that was Whole Cake, so it gave Sanji a reason to leave to it for some other shit to kind of go down. All right, we're getting into some goat territory here. Whew.